Hello and welcome to another episode of Contemporary Living, where we provide lifestyle solutions for everyday people. We are so glad that you can join us, and we are going to have a good time today. But I was thinking, can you believe it? It's January is already gone. It's so funny because I put up a Facebook post, I think it was yesterday, and it says, "Don't fear failure. Fear being in the same place next year as you are now." And of course, yours truly, I had to add a little extra to it. And then because I thought about it, and I said, seconds turn into minutes, turn into hours, turn into days, turn into weeks, turn into months, turn into years, turn into decades. How true is that? I mean, look at your life 10 years ago. Look how quickly that time went. And it made me realize that our time here is finite. And so one of the things I want you to think about is being intentional. It's so important that we're intentional. And I just thought about that because January left just like that. And we're heading into the next month. So you don't want to be in the same position you are now next year. You want to improve on whatever it is that you want to improve on. So let me be intentional. Since we're talking about intentional, let's get into these housekeeping notes. You can find Contemporary Living on Facebook, YouTube, IG, and if you want to contact us, you can go to Contemporary Living at e360tv.com. That's Contemporary Living at e360tv.com. We're not hard to find. And we really want to hear from you. We welcome messages, comments, suggestions, and anything you have to say, because we want to hear more from you in 2022. So I hope your Sunday is going just as fabulous as you please, but you've decided to share this time with us here at Contemporary Living. So I'm going to get right into it. Today, I am excited to welcome my friend and two-time guest of Contemporary Living. Now, the last time she appeared on the show, she came on and she gave us a demo. She showed us how to make quick, healthy, delicious salad with simple ingredients. And we just had a great time. And that was the one time that I learned that, and I know most of you probably already know this, if you add lemon to your salad, it makes that salad pop. I mean, it's like a fireworks going off in your mouth just with a little bit of lemon. But I didn't learn that until she came on our show, and I've been doing it ever since. But let me tell you a little bit about who she is. Miss Kenya Caitlin. Catlin. I've been calling her Caitlin for all these years, you guys. And her real name is Catlin. Miss Kenya Catlin is a certified health coach practitioner who assists individuals, communities, and corporations in pursuing healthier lives in an effort to prevent and manage chronic illness by teaching the practical principles of proper nutrition, fitness, and overall wellness through behavior modification. That's interesting. Behavior modification. Kenya started her coaching practice in 2007 and has achieved long term sustainable results with her clients. Today, Kenya serves as Chief Wellness Officer, offering a wide range of coaching programs and services, from private and group coaching to seminars and keynote speeches. Oh, she is really good, I'm telling you. Coach Kenya's philosophy on learning to make healthy lifestyle choices while balancing family, work, and recreation is simple. And I quote, it is abundantly clear that good health and self care must be taught. Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you, Coach Kenya.
Thank you, Melissa.
Hey, Coach Kenya.
How are you? How are you?
Andre said you guys couldn't see my neck, so I just look like a talking head. So
Yeah, I was gonna tell you that we had lost you a little bit. We didn't see that beautiful neck piece you
I
had.
know, I
Yes,
know.
yes,
How's that? Is that better?
yes. That's good looking out, Dre.
Yeah, that's his job. That's my
That's his
man. I
job.
like it. I like it. I like that in you, Dre.
Absolutely. They a part of health is always who's going to tell you if your slip is caught up in your pantyhose or if you have a booger in your nose. That's how you know the person is a real friend, right?
Some people just won't even say it.
They won't say a word, and that is very applicable to the health energy around you.
Ooh,
So Andre got good
ooh.
health energy, so you can give him a kiss when this show is over.
Okay, I will. I
Yes.
will. That you know what? That is so interesting. The health energy around you. So let's I want to let's deep look into that a little further because that's serious. So when you say the health energy around you, is it the health energy around Andre to tell me that, hey, I can't see your neck? Or is it the health energy around me that people want to tell me what the issue is? That's good. We
Well,
already in it.
I don't know. I've got to completely process that, but my answer would be that there's enough great energy and communication around the two of you,
Mm-hmm.
and between the two of you, not even around, between the two of you, where he feels comfortable in doing so. And I mean, and that may seem to people like a silly example, but how many times do we need to tell people things, um, and we don't, because the energy between those two people is not healthy? And so
Oh,
when that happens and we're not able to do that, we actually short people We short ourselves, but we also short them on knowledge. And everybody knows that knowledge, we live in an informational society right now, but knowledge is what helps people to grow and develop. And if we can look at it, you mentioned when you did the intro that, seconds turn into minutes and minutes turn into, hours, hours to weeks. Well, the same thing with information. You're either getting the information, or you're not. That means it's bigger than that though. You're either developing, or you're not, or you're not, or you're not. And that's part of health. I'll talk a lot, so I'm going to put a period on that one.
Right. But, it's like, well, we're here now, Kenya.
We weren't even, I mean, this is not rehearsed, y'all, but we weren't nowhere near. Me and Melissa already knew what was going to happen.
Right. Because now, what the importance of what you just said is health is not just about getting and becoming physically fit or looking good in your jeans. Health is more than that. And that's what we're going to talk about today. But you hit the nail on the head. But you know what I want to start with? I always start with every guest origin story. So I don't want you to, tell me the year, the date, and the time you were born. But when you look at your younger self, did Kenya say, hey, I want to be a health coach practitioner. I want to help people get in shape. Or was there a significant emotional event, or did something happen to lead you down this path? We want to know what drew you to this path.
So I'm going to go zoop, zoop, zoop. So I grew up I was born in 1967. I'm okay with that. And grew up at a time where you explored everything. You were outside. I was a kid outside because I saw a commercial, getting dirt and putting the dirt on my face. And then my mom was like, dogs pee in that dirt. That dirt is contaminated. But I wanted to play in the dirt because I just thought the women on TV looked beautiful. And I just wanted to have, what they had. And so I was interested in that. I think there's a little bit of vanity in me, as it should be in everybody. I remember being really, really attracted to beautiful things. Still to this day, I like beautiful setups, beautiful rooms, all of that fun stuff. So I think that's what started it. But then I was getting chubby, and it's kind of weird that I was chubby because my mom was the mom who would not let us eat a lot of like McDonald's. We couldn't do that. She wouldn't let us do that. But she didn't know, and we'll get into that later, but she also didn't know about the macros. And if we think about the history of food, when I was growing up, born in 1967, we had balance. You came in for dinner, you had breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Right.
Then it grew to a situation where you had snacks. And if you had some extra coinage, if your parents could give you extra coinage, you were at the store and you were grabbing a pop, 25 cents, and you were grabbing some Cheetos. And then later on, they started putting cheese on the Cheetos. What was happening is we were developing, and also in certain cultures, African-American culture, you may not have been planning a trip to Paris, but you certainly could go down the street and get something to eat, right?
Right.
So food is a big part of our culture. Anyway, I got chubby, and I didn't like it. I did not like it. It wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. I have a little head. I tell everybody I got a little bitty head, and I don't look good, with a big body and a little head. And so I went on a quest, and I did a lot of really bad things for that period of time, the 80s and 90s. And you drank, you did a little drugs, you binged a little bit, you went on every diet imaginable to mankind, not having the right information. And I lost weight. And then the years proceeded. I had children. I was in the gym, by the way. All this time I'm in the gym, right?
Oh, wow.
Gaining and losing.
Yeah.
And finally, after my first child was born, I was like, you know what? I had gained. I was like 192 pounds, right? I just can't carry 192. I just can't do it on my frame. And so I began to look at the connection between food and weight. And once you take a deep dive into that connection, it is undeniable. It is also not people's fault that they gain weight, because the information out here is so confusing and so bad and so based on marketing and sales that most people who think they're healthy, Melissa, don't even know what macros are. They don't. So anyway, long story short, I married a man, my second husband, who had some health issues. He actually came in as a client, and in 7 months, he was able to lose, I think it was 70 or 80 pounds. He also was able to get off of all his medications. At the same time, listen, y'all, at the same time, I adopted some of his habits, and I'm not ashamed. I'll tell you what they were. Drinking with him on the weekend, buying that delicious fried fish from this delicious place down the street in Texas, actually. Don't want to put them on blast.
Right.
If you do that on a Friday and a Saturday and a Sunday, and after church, you make a pot roast with potatoes and carrots, but you're sipping mimosas right after church. And by Monday, your liver is trying to fix all of this. You haven't gained a ton of weight, by the way. A lot of people think you're gaining a ton of weight. You're not. What you're doing is you're inflaming your body. What you hear people say, "Oh man, I went plant-based and I lost, 15 pounds in 30 days." That was inflammation. That was inflammation. So I began to really, really do a deeper dive into the connection between food and weight and health. And it's amazing that those few changes that he made him healthier, but the few changes that I made me fatter. I didn't get sick. I've got some really good DNA on that. But yeah, so we've been at it ever since, and having a lot of fun, learning new information all the time.
Wow. Now, I'm going to have to go back because you said people who think they're healthy don't even know what a macro is. And, hey, we're all about lifestyle solutions for everyday people. So, can you just give us, just a little bit of what a macro is? Because that's going to be important too.
That's super important, Melissa. So every food that you eat, is a protein, a carb, or a fat. Okay. Now you've got some phytonutrients. Those are extras. Those are different nutrients, but the main macronutrients are protein, a carb, and a fat. And I would not be surprised, say you heard it here on Contemporary Living, that they're probably going to add fiber to those nutrients pretty soon. They're probably going to add fiber because it is so important. So I'm going to do a little test for whoever wants to take it. You don't really have to take it, but think about it, and I'll help everybody out listening. If you eat a ribeye steak, what are you eating? You're eating protein, and that rim around there and that marbling in that steak is fat, right? So if you have for breakfast a banana and some orange juice and a granola bar, is there a little protein somewhere in there? Sure it is. A little fat in there, probably in the granola bar. Sure it is. Granola is fat, right? Just a little. But mostly with the orange juice, you're having a sugary carb. With the granola bar, you're having a carb. And with the banana, you're having a carb. So your macros at the beginning of the day are completely out of whack, unless you're getting ready to go run 3 or 4 miles, right? Which most people aren't. But because the information is out there in a way that's so disingenuous,
yes,
you wake up, you have the orange juice, the banana, and the granola bar, and you wonder why you're not losing weight and why your tummy is beginning to get bigger, right? So now you're frustrated and you think that diets don't work. And I don't like the word diet, so we're going to use that word very loosely here. And
Mhm.
so if you look at an avocado is a what? You got this one, Melissa. Do this one. What's an avocado?
An avocado is a
You got this. I'll
fat.
help you. It's a fat. It's a fat.
Oh my
So right, right. And a banana is a carb.
God.
And nuts usually are a combination of protein, carbs, and fat. You know, one of my favorite foods is an egg. Egg is a 1-to-1 ratio of protein and fat. So when we get back to the macros, that's one of the first things that everybody needs to kind of learn
Mhm.
in order to move forward,
Yeah.
because the macros set the tone for whether or not you're going to get inflamed, whether or not you're going to have obesity, overweight, or any type of chronic disease. So let's look at our cultural diet. Coming back to the South Side, it really woke me up a lot. I have
Right.
a whole new meaning for Harold's chicken. But if you get the chicken, that's a protein. That's
Right.
probably okay. But now it's fried in flour and seed oils, and we can talk
Right.
about seed oils later. But
Yeah.
now you got the French fries, and they're fried too. And so now you've got the carb, and then you don't get any coleslaw anymore, but that coleslaw would be a carb too. You get the white bread, and then they pour the big ladle of barbecue sauce over it, which is kind of what's killing everybody. If you just did the fried chicken and a couple of French fries, threw the white bread out and had a drizzle of barbecue sauce, you could be okay. But if you do the whole thing the way it's set up, and then you have pizza the next day, and then you have a hamburger the next day, nobody's eating balanced anymore, and your carbs are up the roof. If your carbs are that high, you are setting yourself up for chronic illness, which includes obesity.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
You
so so
see it?
one of the things that this it's so funny because the average person will grab a banana and they'll grab a granola bar and have a glass of orange juice and say, you know what, I just had a light snack for breakfast. I didn't eat anything heavy because it wasn't pancakes, because it wasn't ham, or the any type of heavy breakfast, steak and eggs. But that is what's causing diseases or causing you to be ill. Now, I know we wanted to talk about preventable diseases. So now that we talked about inflammation, because when you said inflammation, it made me think about some things that are preventable, because I just watched about maybe 4 days ago an old documentary called Inflame Me. She couldn't figure out why she was getting sick. She was having all kinds of problems, and it was all her diet. And once she changed her diet, everything went away. And it's just like
Everything.
you said. So let's talk about some preventable diseases since you brought up inflammation.
Well, all chronic diseases are preventable. Your natural state, your no, your natural state is health. You unless you're born with a disease, which means something went wrong
Right,
in the womb,
right.
then your natural state is health. So if you want to talk about the diseases that are preventable, overweight, obesity, diabetes, hypertension, the itises, colitis, diverticulitis, even some arthritises, digestive issues, all preventable through food and lifestyle. Food being primary. I hate to see people who are working out like crazy. And I know we'll
Yeah,
talk about working out. And I have working out is, I couldn't imagine life without it.
right.
But you got your body is a storm of illness, and you're lifting weights. What a
Mm,
stressor we are putting on the body. But I don't want to get off into a tangent on that.
right.
All of those particular diseases that I mentioned and many, many more
Mhm.
are a result of stress, lifestyle,
Yeah.
and primarily diet. And there's a test that people can take. They can take it on the negative or positive. It's called the fit test or the fat test. You can take it
Uh-huh.
either way. And I don't know if you want to go into it right
Yeah,
now.
you can go ahead. Let's just let it flow. Yeah, absolutely.
So tonight after this show, if I go out and I have a big pasta meal, which I stay away from at all costs because I know what it's going to do to me. I know what it's going to do to me. And I have, I don't know, a couple of glasses of wine or whiskey. I mean, they're both alcohol, right?
Yeah.
And maybe I eat the bread because they here at Texas Roadhouse, they have the most delicious cinnamon roll with cinnamon butter. By the way, your body knows what to do with butter. It can identify butter, but it can't identify all those things at one time. It can't identify it. So it's gonna turn into a traffic jam inside the body. It's like being in traffic inside the body. And it's gonna work all night to try to fix itself. And it's going to create this cytosol storm of inflammation. So what will happen is tomorrow morning, if I ate like that, I would wake up and I could literally wake up 3 to 5 pounds heavier, which is why, we don't, being on the scale is not the play, if you will, when you're trying to lose weight, because you're only going to confuse yourself in your body depending on what you ate. But that's a different story. Yeah. So you do that and you look the next morning at what your numbers are and they're way up there and you didn't gain weight. It's all inflammation. It's all the body's inflammatory response to the foods you ate. Now, same token, you can have the ribeye because the body knows what to do when it sees beef. And we can talk about the difference between grass-fed and commercial, because I think it's a lot of confusion there. People are thinking that they can't eat beef and they can't eat pork. And I tell everybody, J-Lo has more pork than anybody. Does she look sick to you? The answer is no. So it's the quality. See, we've been eating beef and pork and all these things and butter and all that for lots and lots of years. It's the quality and it's the manufacturing that came into play back in the 1930s when we went to industrialized farming. So that's a whole nother, story there. But you can also take the test the other way. If you don't want to gain 5 pounds overnight, you could take the test the opposite way. And you could go really low on your carbs, keep it real simple, have things like a nice piece of fatty fish, and maybe a small green salad with some avocado, and do that. And your body would begin to burn. It will begin to burn its carbohydrate stores out, right? As opposed to inflaming itself. And you could do that for a day or a couple of days, and you'll see the numbers on the scale go down. And it doesn't mean that you lost a lot of weight, but what it does mean is that you are releasing inflammation from your body. Inflammation is the marijuana of the body. Inflammation is the gateway to chronic illness in the body.
And then you just use a higher drug from there for the body to make it worse. Wow.
And then the doctor, well, in defense of doctors, I work with doctors. I love doctors. And right now our emergency rooms, they've been like this for the last 20 years there. And that has nothing to do with COVID. People are inundating the emergency room with things that they should not. So medicine wasn't intended for metabolic disturbances. Medicine was intended for if you got in a car accident or, you fell off the roof and you busted your head open. But it wasn't intended for you to just eat yourself into oblivion and destroy your metabolism. Wow. But they're keeping up. They're keeping up because they have to keep up because that's what we're looking at now. If we spend half the money, just a fraction, maybe just even 1% on prevention, it would change the entire game.
Ooh, guess what, Kenya? What? We are at the top of the first half and we have not even touched the surface, but we knew this would happen. We knew this would happen. So when we come back, what would you like to talk about next? I was looking at the hierarchy of health.
You're on it. I think that if we can get through that, I think that will be very helpful to you, to the viewers.
All right, great. So what we're going to do is go to commercial, you guys, and then come back with Coach Kenya. What I really love about this, your natural state is health. Remember that your natural state is health. All we have to do is get back to it. And Coach Kenya is going to show us how. We'll be right back. And we're back. And there goes my necklace again. Let me pull the camera down a little bit more. All right. All right. There we go. This contemporary living is powered by realtor Andre Hill, as you saw his commercial, and also Shiro Coffee and Farm Hill Coffee. We thank you for watching. This commercial has been powered. This show has been powered by those two commercials. And we're going to bring Kenya back in. Hey, that wasn't too long, was it?
No, it was awesome. I love it. I gotta check out that coffee.
You know, definitely.
Yeah, I'm on some strong dope. I'm on Starbucks coffee. I'm on strong dope.
Oh yeah, we got that. We got the strong stuff for you.
Okay, I'm gonna check it out. You know, I'm gonna check it out.
All right. Great. So when we left, we wanted to talk about the hierarchy of health. So tell us a little bit about exactly what that is.
Okay, so it is no pun, but it is Coach Kenya's. It's my hierarchy of health. It was created in my practice, and it was kind of a blueprint when I work with clients on what we need to work on as individuals. So I'm just going to go down the hierarchy because it's kind of long, and hopefully we can get through it. But rest is at the top of the hierarchy. Okay. Mm-hmm. I had a true story. All my stories are true. Client who, she worked 15,000 jobs literally, and was literally leaving purses on the top of cars and had fibromyalgia.
Wow.
We could lose a little weight right away, but then it was just a stop because she just wouldn't rest. And it's this very scary thing. In fact, she called me a couple years ago. She says, I need to come back because I had a dream that I was going to have a heart attack, and I know what I got to do. And we, you go back in, you work on it, but rest is the body. Let's do it this way, Melissa. Mm-hmm. Everything we do except rest stresses our body.
Ooh.
When you eat and you have to digest the food, that is a stress. Now, every stress is not created equal. There's a good stress and a bad stress. There's a good carb and a bad carb. So you don't have to freak out about it, but exercise stresses the body. Stress stresses the body. Yes. Certain foods stress the body. Rest is the one time where you are free and able to completely renew yourself. Mm-hmm. That person in the gym that's working out every day is not doing themselves a favor. In fact, there's a doctor, I think it's Dr. Chung, who says, you only have so many heartbeats in your lifetime. Do not use them all on exercise. And it's kind of funny because it's real. It's a completely different thought process than what we're hearing on the street. And, I have to agree with it, or else I would not, I wouldn't bring it
Mhm.
up. So rest is the very top of the hierarchy. But there's another thing that's at the top of the hierarchy. Right next to rest is breath, breathing, using your breath to go in, all the way in and out. Tell me, let's do it 2 more times, and I'm choking up already, getting too much oxygen. In, take it, and let it out. You can choke. Just go ahead and cry.
Yeah.
Exactly, because you're bringing in oxygen. That's what we need. And let's do one more. But this, I know, I got it on the first one, but let's do one more. But intentionally, I want you to just really feel this one. Take it in as many times as you need. Take it in. Take another one. Hold it. Let it go. There's a sense of peace. I don't know if you felt it.
My shoulders. Oh my goodness. My shoulders dropped.
We are oxygen. We are breath. We are air, and we don't think about it. We take it for granted. We stress over money, but what day did you wake up and say, "Is there going to be enough air for me or enough water?" Ooh. No days, and that's what you really need to live. You need the breath. You need the air. You need the water. But these are, ancient Chinese, Egyptian practices that just kind of got lost in the hustle and bustle of life. Right. If you and the next tier, meditation, breathing is involved in meditation. So that's your next tier. Mm-hmm. Long story short, long, I know, because the time. So when I was pro se, I was an attorney for my divorce, and it was a very stressful time in my life. And I was literally on the stand going, I wasn't a health coach at that time, but because my body was so stressed, and you even see people doing that when they work out. I work out like that. I work out very hard. I work out like an animal. And you hear me doing that because I need to do that to get through, for my body to get through the sensation of the stress that I'm putting it through. And so it's just another part of that hierarchy that we really take for granted. You want to reduce your stress? Learn how to breathe, which leads me to the next tier, which is meditation, visualization. I'm sorry, meditation, appreciation, and visualization. So what does that mean? So meditation is where you attempt to sit. It could just be for 2 minutes or 5 minutes. You don't have to sit for hours and meditate. That's not what meditation is about. It's about how you navigate through the world after you've done the meditation. But some people cannot meditate. Okay. Some people have what we call monkey mind. I have that. And so if you're not able to meditate, and you should practice, in fact, this is a true story. I've got some heavy stuff going on in the business world right now. Today, as soon as I woke up this morning, it was the first thing on my mind, the first thing. And it's very stressful. So I had to not let my feet hit the floor. And I had to sit there and try to center myself in the next one, which is appreciation, because life is real.
Absolutely.
If you get bit by a dog, you're not going to start meditating. You're going to be a pain. And Absolutely. So, but how do you get around that? And so if I would not have stopped and centered myself in appreciation today, this probably wouldn't be a good day. The whole day just goes downhill when you don't center yourself before you start that day. It just does. So you got meditation, and then you've got appreciation. Can't meditate, go straight into a state of appreciation. Don't have anything to appreciate the sun, appreciate the air, appreciate you have teeth, appreciate whatever you can, and you'll get more of that. But you've got to, it's a practice. You've got to practice. And then the third one on that same tier there, meditation, appreciation, is visualization. You got to see it. And especially in certain communities because it's not available. One of the reasons why I was so stressed this morning is because I haven't seen anybody do it. I mean, it can be done.
Yeah.
It can be done, but you haven't seen anybody do it. You get a
Right.
client, they come to me, they want to lose weight. They go back home. Nobody's trying to be healthy at home. You got to
Right.
sit somewhere and visualize what you're trying to do because what you see is real. And
Right.
so how do you make yourself practice seeing something else? So important. Next tier. Hydration and elimination. Those are on the same tier. This is a hierarchy of health. Hydration this is 32 ounces. You really shouldn't even get out of bed or get off the toilet until you've at least gotten down about 16 ounces. If you're not there yet, do 8. If you're not there yet, do 4. Hydrate your body. You lost a lot while you slept. And so
Right.
put that hydration back in. And then elimination. I've been really blessed to work from home for many, many years or work from a studio somewhere where, I could go eliminate. People don't, I mean, I don't know. We're all grown-ups. You've got anywhere from 3 to 6 meals in your tummy. You want them out. You don't want them in there turning into a toxic waste dump
Right.
and creating disease. And so elimination, that is a big part of health. What is health? We're going down the list. So now we've got nutrition. And I know you guys probably thought I was going to say nutrition first, but no.
Right.
It's real important, but I'm not going to say it first. It's not first. If you can't breathe, you can't eat.
Right.
Right? If you're not sleeping, you don't care what you eat. So we got to put it in priority. Nutrition. And you asked earlier when we were talking about the different diets and which one works. They all work. Nobody does them long enough and knows all the components.
It's 3 days. I haven't lost enough yet.
It's just 3 days. Right. It's over. I took turmeric. What happened? So
it does not work, Coach. It does not work.
Right, it don't work. It don't work. So I'm ready to do what I've been doing. Exactly. Nutrition it's huge, but it's not the first thing and everybody's got to decide for themselves which one. Some people may sleep and get sleep and don't play with their sleep, but other people may have a problem with nutrition or whatever. So you just got to figure out which one you need the most work with. But nutrition obviously is 80%. You are what you eat. That old adage will never go away. In my practice, one of the things that people do when they come in is I gauge what their style of eating is. 10 years ago, we told everybody to eat breakfast. Now we know that breakfast could be at 2:00 in the afternoon. So we have what we call an eating style. What is your style? There's no point in me asking you to do X, Y, and Z. You're not going to do that. So let's figure out what your personal eating style is. And that is a term that we've coined over at Body Divine. And then
I was just going to say that's a good point because, people think that they have, they say breakfast is the most important meal of the day, but breakfast is nothing more than breaking that fast. So that's the first meal of the day. Yeah.
Yep. You're brilliant, Melissa, because it brings me to the next on that tier of nutrition and eating style is what we call fasting. And right now you don't have to dig real deep, but you got to dig a little bit because telling people not to eat doesn't sell a product. So right now I'm going to make a bold statement. There are 2 types of fasting. Well, there are more than 2, but 2 types I'm going to talk about. One is IMF, which is intermittent fasting, where you wake up and you fasted all night while you were asleep. Okay. You wake up in the morning and instead of grabbing that eggs or granola bar and orange juice, just wait another 6 hours. Yes, your stomach is going to growl for the first week or first couple of days. Guess what that growling is?
What is it?
Growling is you continuing to burn off stores of carbohydrate. So if you have a tummy, if your breasts are getting really, really, everybody doesn't gain weight in the same place. They're getting
Right.
really, really big, or you got your body's starting to take that. You are eating, your body's eating. You're not picking up the fork, but the body's feeding off its own fat stores. And guess what? Every single time you eat, you raise insulin. And when you raise insulin, you gain weight. And they know this, and we got to see what they're going to do with it. But I'm my own bae. And we know this. You raise insulin. You have fatty liver disease. You outwork your pancreas, and it causes obesity and it causes disease. And we know this, and we know it now. And 20 years ago, I would have told you to eat 5 times a day.
Yeah,
Worst thing in the world for a diabetic to do is to eat 5 times a day, but you can't get them to change because they love their doctors, and I love doctors too. And good doctors are beginning, hopefully, the newer doctors coming in to tell a new story. I don't think it was a setup. We just didn't know a lot of stuff a long time ago. We were cave people for a while there.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah. So,
but I was going to say that the snacking, so you said every time you eat something, your insulin is raised. So that means your body is working every time you put something in your mouth and eat it.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, okay, let's real quick, and we'll continue down the tier. What is diabetes? A lot of people have diabetes, don't even know what it is. So you eat something, anything, especially carbs. Okay, they raise the glucose, right? And you eat it, and then it absorbs through the body, and then the blood sugar naturally goes up. And when the blood sugar naturally goes up, all that happens is the pancreas says, "Hey, insulin, come help get this energy into the cells." If you keep eating the carbs over and over and over again, the pancreas is tired of summoning the insulin, and the insulin becomes what we call insulin resistant. It doesn't want to work. It's like the little boy who cried wolf. And so those fat stores stay outside the body, and they're not getting utilized, i.e., which is why fasting is so important. You don't have to fast. I'm thinking about going February 1st to February 28th. Now, I talked to my coach, and I said, I always make these big plans, and then I may fail like 5 or 15 days into it. I don't know. The longest fast I've ever done was 8 days. I'm proud of it, but I've been trying to do more. He says, well, if you fail, at least you did 5 days. That's better than doing nothing. I'm not encouraging any person without supervision to do a 28-day fast. But I do think for 30 days, it's real safe to say, why don't you go ahead and do some intermittent fasting for 30 days. You're going to see, forget the scale, you're going to see your clothes start falling. I'm telling you guys, I'm telling you all the secrets. Yeah, I need you to come to me. I need clients. But I don't care. I don't care, because there's always going to be something for me to do. I'm okay. Don't cry for me, Argentina. You guys got an intermittent fast. You can reverse disease. And here's the deal. I know a lot of people are concerned about their medications. If you're concerned about your medication, do your fast on the bottom end. Don't do it on the top end. So go ahead and sleep for 8 hours. Get up and eat. Close your window at 3, 4, 5 o'clock, whatever works for you. You got to come up with that on your own. And then you go back into a state of fasting at night, and you sleep through it. So you're not fasting on the front end, you're fasting on the back end. That way you can still take your medication, right?
Right.
Okay. And I do disclaim that I don't have your file, and I'm not your personal health coach. So with everything, you should consult your doctor, but your doctor may not know about intermittent fasting. I'm just saying. I'm being honest. I'm just honest. Yeah. So Chicago's taught me a lot. Chicago grew me up with this. I was excited before I came to Chicago, but the state of health of people in Chicago really grew me up, because I saw things that I wouldn't normally see.
I remember when we first met, one of the things you said was, you can't even hit. First, you got to learn help the people put down the chips, the Cheetos and the Doritos and all of that. You got to do that first.
Yeah, I mean, why would I start talking to somebody about yoga and quinoa?
Right.
And they're not on the yoga quinoa level yet.
As soon as I finish these White Castles, we're gonna be on yoga and quinoa. That's what they're gonna tell you.
What'd you say about the White Castle?
I said their mentality would be, as soon as I finish these White Castles, then we can talk about the quinoa and the yoga.
And the yoga. Right, exactly. So yeah, meeting people where they are. So nutrition, eating style, what's your personal eating style? And then I do, you guys can go to YouTube and just start looking up. I'll give you some people. Dr. Jason Fung.
Oh, yeah.
I love Dr. Jason Fung. He's on my page a lot. Well, not a lot. I don't share these people a lot. I don't have time to be pushing those buttons, but
right.
I'm getting so much trouble for that. But I'll try. I'll do better. But Dr. Jason Fung, Dr. Bird. Yes. I like those two a lot. Very detailed, break it down. But you don't want to get enamored with the medical part of it. You want to just stay focused on what is the prevention piece or what is the reversal piece.
Okay.
You want me to keep going with the hierarchy?
Yeah. Yes. We only have 9 minutes left, and I do have to do a closing. We're going to keep going, but I want to talk about your products and what you do over at Body Divine. So make sure we have time for that. My closeout can be very simple today because this information is more important than, the normal closeout that I do. So go ahead. We left off on fasting, and I'm taking notes. I'm a note taker.
Yeah. Well, you're family, so you got direct access, so you're okay. Also, there was a question that came up. It comes up a lot. How does this tie into mental health?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is your body and your head not connected?
Woo! I'll drink water.
I'll drink to that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not gonna play with the people, act like all I do is drink water, because I don't. I do a lot of fun things with my life, and that's part of health. I do a lot of fun things in my life, and that's part of health. All mental health is, I just want to back up and address mental health, is a state of well-being. And when you see somebody, unless they really, really have, and typically, like I said, you're born with it. But if you're not born with a mental health issue, how did you acquire it? And right now there's a study called epigenetics, where it looks at your health and the environment around you and how that plays a part. You know about PTSD. We know about how all different kind of experiences in your life play a part in your mentality. The way it was put, and I don't remember who put it that way, was that when you are so far away, and this makes me sad, mental health it's not this simple, but wrap your mind around being so far away from what you intended for yourself. Do you see that, Melissa?
It's easy to draw a picture when you put it like that. It's easy to draw a picture.
You're so far away. You're so far away from your hope, not what your mama hoped for you or your dad, but just what you hoped in your heart for yourself. That it disturbs the chemistry of your body. It changes the chemistry of your body. And we also know, and this is important to mention, and we could take all of these and just unpack one or two of them, maybe if we do a part 2 or something.
Absolutely.
But you've got a microbiome, and there's something called the brain-gut connection. Whatever's going on in the gut, it's going on in the brain. Inflammation doesn't stay in one spot. If you're inflamed, your whole body's inflamed, including your face and your fingers, and everything's inflamed. How it's going to manifest itself is a different story. Okay.
Wow.
So that was just my little spiel on mental health. Oh, there's a great article. I wrote this down. 11 small but important things to take care of your mental health. So something like that. I can't read my own writing. 11 small but important things to take care of your mental health. It's by one of my colleagues, Casey G. It's out of Self magazine, and I'm gonna throw these four were very interesting. Not watching Netflix at night. You don't go to bed to TV. You get the blue light. The blue light throws off your melatonin. Melatonin, sugar and alcohol. We used to dance. We used to drink and dance. Now we drink and sit. We go to the movies. We drink alcohol. We sit. We used to drink and sweat and dance. Sweat is so important. Getting a professional, whether it's a health coach or somebody to help you organize what's going on. I don't know why people will pay so much for certain things, but not for their health. I don't get it. Right. And then the one that bugs me a lot, some people think that it is a badge of honor to be healthy. I mean, not to be healthy, to be busy. What is going on? That is the worst thing. Some of the top performers in the world only work a few weeks or maybe even a few months out of the year and enjoy their life. Your life is meant to be enjoyed. You guys pick up that article, 11 small but important things.
By Casey G.
Casey G. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Public-private relationships. We talked about this when we first came on. How are your relationships? Because your relationships, you know, if you're in your head because you wasn't able to say this to this person, or you guys holler and scream at each other, or if you're over here in a nurturing relationship and you have friends that you can count on and you don't feel like you're in this big cold world by yourself, that makes a world of difference. And all this ties back into mental health. So not only your private, you can have great family relationships, but be lousy in love.
Right.
Like everybody doesn't have it like you and Dre. You know, everybody doesn't have that love, that love like you don't. But do you have some love from somewhere? Right? I don't have that. I don't have that. And it don't look like
we don't have that every day.
But you got it a high percentage of the time. Right. And that's a good thing. But yeah, so how are those relationships playing out? Do you go to work and you upset at work 8 hours a day? That's a major stressor. You at work and you just got there and you're looking at the clock trying to figure out that is so stressful on the body. You'd be better to quit. Excessive smoking, drinking, and vaping. Oh, and I sent out a post earlier today. Vaping is smoking and wine is drinking. People, vaping equals smoking and wine equals drinking. I don't know what fairy.
But necessary. Boo, but necessary. I get it.
What'd you say?
I said boo, but it's necessary. That wine is not, you don't have to have it.
Well, it was intended for you to do a 4-ounce pour like the French women. We drink whole bottles. If you really wanted the benefits of wine, you just go to Walgreens and get a resveratrol pill.
Oh.
So everybody needs to be honest. You just like it and you want to get drunk. Now, there is a value to hanging out and getting drunk because it's fun. And the body, here's the deal. The body's really smart. It knows that you drank too much. So you're just going to feel cruddy the next day. You got to get up and get some steam on your body and sweat a little bit and take vitamin D and do all that fun stuff.
We are 2 minutes down. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. So we stopped at excessive smoking, drinking, and drinking wine. So we know what that does to the body. What are the other tiers that you have? You can just kind of talk, or I'm trying to give you enough. Yeah, that's it.
That's it. But I tell you what you want. You want this essential supplementation. Like I can give it to you really quick. I can talk really fast.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Essential supplementation. Guys, write this down. Turmeric and black pepper. If you're taking turmeric without black pepper, you're doing nothing. Black pepper activates the turmeric. Omega-3. This is stuff that everybody could be on. Omega-3, vitamin D, and dietary food, vitamin C. Dietary food, vitamin C, not fake pill vitamin C. Dietary vitamin C. Collagen. It's 72% of your structural protein is collagen. You should be on collagen, especially if you're a lady of a certain age. Mag and zinc are so important for immunity and then we'll talk about hot cold therapy next time, Melissa.
All right. So we are at 9:59. I gotta close out. Thank you. You will definitely be back on here again so we can talk about it. We're gonna leave your information down in the comment section. Mwah! Love you. Thank you for being here.
Stay healthy, my friends. Love you
All
too.
right.
Bye.
You guys, wasn't that great? But I want to close out. As always, we thank God for his unmerited, undeserving favor called grace. Grace is the total absence from doing anything. You can't work for it. You can't buy it. You can't sell it. It just is. And he gives it to each and every one of us freely. And as believers, we know as believers that Christ died, he was buried and rose again on the third day for our justification. It is in the word. Now let that sink in. On behalf of myself and my hardworking husband, Andre Hill, be brilliant, be you, be blessed, and we will see you on February 13th. Bye-bye.